Depressed, overworked, job suck, unappreciated, family problems, money worries. Well, we have a pill for you. Fuckinol 1000 milligrams.
Come on in and sit down. You cut the hardcore crew chewing the fat. You cut us shooting the shit. You cut us in the moment.
He looks about fucking 70.
That's what drugs will do to you, like hard drugs.
Well, you know what, guys? Since it's just us, we are in the moment, so...
Yes, we're just talking about You Shoot with Balls Mahoney, which is his latest shoot interview from Kayfabe Commentaries, if anyone can find a copy on a stream or something. But I have never seen a wrestler look so bad in all my life. I thought when Razor Ramon Scott Hall was going through his drug rehab, he looked rough, but Balls Mahoney's aged 20 years.
Yeah, he is not aged well.
He ain't aged gracefully. He's aged like milk.
Yeah, in the hot sun.
Yeah.
Wow.
My grandmother, who was 87, had got more teeth than he's got at the moment. I think the only thing he's got in his mouth that he could chew food with is that tongue ring. I mean, I don't know how he chews food with them gums.
Yeah, yeah, unbelievable. And you sent me another clip of this guy, and this guy is really just, he's even said straight out he has no problem with drugs. He just has a problem maintaining his drug habit.
Yeah, that's like that old Cheech and Chong thing.
In the interview, when you get so far into the interview, he pulls his drugs out and says, there you go, are they called somas or something, painkillers and stuff.
Yeah.
A bottle of 150 there, and he's like showing him to the camera. He's dead proud that he's got a box of 150 pills.
It's like that old Cheech and Chong joke. That somebody asks, do you still experiment with drugs? Is it, no, we haven't figured out.
One of the questions he asks him, I can't exactly remember how the question's put, but it's like, how much money would you work for? If you had to go back to the WWE or ECW, how much money would you work for? And he'd work for drugs. He says on the interview, I'd do it for drugs.
He's like, listen, don't even give me a check, because you know what? I'm just going to go get the drugs anyway.
Yeah.
Just, cut the middleman out.
Just give me the drugs.
He can be the new spokesperson for fuck it all.
Yeah.
We'll have to get him on the show.
Yeah, he would definitely be an interesting interview. He would not be boring at all.
It's a guy named Balls. What wouldn't say boring about that?
This is true.
4 or 5 of his. This is about the 6th one he's done now. I've got 4 or 5 interviews of his. And you can see on each interview, he's progressively, as the years go on, he's progressively getting worse. But that's got to be the worst state I have ever seen any wrestler in, being interviewed. Ever.
I saw the one wrestling match where he was just blowing fucking vomit all over the crowd. I'm like, oh.
That's on that video. They show a small clip where he's just throwing his chunks out at the audience.
Oh, that's something I don't care to revise or watch again. Oh, I just unbelievable. It's just.
And the interview guy says, "Well, how come you were sick? Is it something that you ate?" Or he says, "It's the problem that I didn't eat and was taking somas, and that's what happens when you take pills on an empty stomach." Nice. Woo! The lot came out.
Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable.
And it's all yellow shit. It looks like he's spitting out porridge, but apparently it's the bile in your stomach because he'd got no food in there to throw up.
Oh, God. Moving on. Let's talk about this past Sunday Survivor Series, guys. With the exception of a few spots, I'd have to say the Survivor Series really wasn't that great. Miz and Mizdow are now the new tag champs. Miz had done everything he could to keep Mizdow out of the match, but of course, at the last minute, Mizdow gets himself tagged in and gets the winning pin, which, of course, all the fans really liked. Andy, what did you think of this match?
I must be honest, I was impressed by, Goldust and Silver Dust, how they are gelling together.
Okay. So, are you shocked that they actually dropped the titles to Miz and Mizdow?
No, I think it's an open and shut case. I think they're going to be splitting them pair up. I can see it coming, but I think they try. I don't know what it is as well. I don't know why the crowd all of a sudden have gone on to Sandow while he's suddenly become a fan favourite. I don't know what it is, because before he was just a jobber, and now he seems to have got the crowd behind him, and he's done very little to deserve it, in my opinion.
He's funny. That's it.
I think he's going to be the new Santino character, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I think right now it's just this gimmick is just working because he's with Miz, who everybody seems to hate, and Miz does become a fan favorite.
Why is it, though, that everybody seems to hate Miz? I mean, I find Miz as good in his own way. I'd put him up there with, apart from the eye flying, which he doesn't really do, I'd put him up there with the likes of Shawn Michaels, just for the kind of build that the guy is, the sort of the same sort of build.
I think with Miz, it's more of his character.
Yeah.
It's the, I'm from Hollywood, you're not supposed to touch my face. It's the heel, and that's why they're booing him. They're not really, so it's, now, Miz is the heel and Miz Dow is a face, and it's a very rare thing you don't see. You don't see a tag team as a heel and a face working together so well.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen that since Team Hell No. Lance, what was your thoughts on this match?
Good match. Granted, I've said before, not the biggest tag guy myself, but I honestly was surprised they won because I was still saying that Gold Stardust are going to be we're going to drop it to the Ascension, but I guess I was wrong.
All right, and then of course we had a Divas tag match. A Divas a title match which lasted like 18 seconds. Brie pops up on the apron, gives AJ Lee what I call the kiss of death, giving Nikki the I call it the Bella Buster for the win. And apparently both Bellas are now on good terms. They left hand in hand, and AJ is now no longer the champion. Lance, what did you think about it when you saw this?
Let's be honest. CM Punk and Daniel Bryan probably made a phone call to each other right as soon as they did that, say, hey, can we work something out here?
You know what? That's a good question, because when you see that, you really got to wonder what the heck is, if that was something that CM Punk whispered in her ear.
And Brie seemed to really kind of be into it. She had a pretty big ass smile on her face. Is all I'm saying.
I don't know. Maybe CM Punk and Daniel Bryan are going in for the Swingers Club. Andy, what did you think?
The thing that made me laugh was the build-up, getting in and out of the ring, lasted longer than the match. And I thought, is this the best they can do for the Divas division? I mean, the other Divas match that was on the card sucked ass big time, but this was like the main event for the women, and it was over quicker than it started.
Yeah, again, a lot of these matches was not that great. I was not really impressed with it, so I think we're gonna move on. I think it was to one of the main event, which is the Team Cena versus Team Authority. Now, right off the bat, Big Show knocks out Mark Henry, so it was like 4-on-5. During the match, however, Big Show turns on Team Cena and knocks out John Cena, which we find out later on Raw. But getting back to the main show, it comes down to Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Team Authority was going to get the win, hook or crook, and then Sting comes out. And this is where we all start marking out like a motherfucker, because we have not seen Sting inside a WWE ring at all. This has been the first time. He comes out, he pretty much eyeballs Triple H. He hits him with a Scorpion Death Drop, and then he pretty much puts Ziggler on top of Seth Rollins. A referee comes in and counts out Seth Rollins, and now Team Authority got eliminated, and Team Cena is your winner. What did you guys think of this last match? And of course, what did you think of Sting coming on in? Andy, your thoughts?
My honest opinion, until Sting came out, I thought the match was just a Raw match, boring. I didn't think the match had got any credibility at all. It seemed to lift its head when Sting came out, and I think people will remember it just because Sting came out. I don't think the match was a memorable match. Quite why they've decided, after about the 18th time of trying to push Dolph Ziggler, that nice to see John Cena come out, pat him on the back, shake his hand, and obviously, as they say, passing the gauntlet to him. I just don't know why, because I've never been a Dolph Ziggler fan. Does he deserve to be the top guy in the company? No, I don't think he does. Who deserves to be the top guy in the company? I have no idea, but he doesn't, in my opinion. But I was marking out just like everybody else. When Sting came out and bottom jaw fell on the floor, I just thought, I don't believe I'm seeing this. But I expected him to do a lot more, and I don't know. I've looked at a couple of things on the internet since, and the thing that people are saying is, my God, he's an old man. Well, what do you expect?
Yeah, he is an old man. What's he, his, like, 40s, late 40s? What do
Yeah,
you think
he's
he'll do? He's gonna...
Undertaker's age. I mean, all I can see, people think that he's going to come back and have an Undertaker match. I think it's pretty obvious it's going to be a Triple H match at WrestleMania, to be perfectly. I don't want to blow people's bubbles thinking he's going to be fighting the Undertaker. No, it's going to be Triple H, unfortunately, which is a shame.
And you know what? I tend to disagree with you. I think that Triple H and Sting would probably be a far better match than The Undertaker, because let's be realistic. Undertaker has not been looking that great. We've said it many times on the show, and I think Triple H would actually put on a better show for,
I think he would put a better show on, but have you noticed what's happened here? Again, Triple H, attention-seeking whore. The only time Sting's ever come in the building as a WWE star, he does his finishing move on Triple H, and then he walks out the building, never to be seen again. Then he's going to come back, and Triple H is going to have the limelight that I actually fought Sting. The first ever time he was ever in a WWE pay-per-view, the first time he's ever been in a ring, it's just Triple H getting the limelight all over again. They should give it to one of the new guys.
But you know what, though? Let's be realistic. Is that really Triple H's pick, or is that Sting's pick? Would you pick Sting to pick, to wrestle against, let's say, Fandango?
No.
All right, then. Well, how about even Dolph Ziggler, who by the way, rose a few notches last night. He was the sole survivor.
I don't really know who they could put Sting up against, but I'm sure they could find a better character than because Triple H now supposedly going out of it so him and Stephanie can have another child, more than likely. But
I don't think that's the case. I think that's a rumor, and I'm not buying that rumor.
I don't know. I'm in mixed. I've got mixed feelings of it. I just really don't want to see Triple H in another WrestleMania, because Triple H is getting to be the new version of The Undertaker. He just turns up for WrestleManias and disappears again.
I don't disagree with you there either. But with Triple H, you got to understand, he is getting to that age where, he's only wrestling those key matches. Look at Vince. Vince McMahon even did it. Vince McMahon only wrestled those few matches at his older age. But you know what? Let's talk about the main topic now. Of course, the Authority is now gone. There is no more Authority. They're out of power. So we're going to move on to Raw. We saw Daniel Bryan appear on Raw, which is he had control of the night. That was huge for a lot of people. What did you guys think about Daniel Bryan coming back?
I was impressed. It was nice to see him back, but I just think, really? It would have been better if they'd have brought Sting back as the general manager.
A lot of people were upset that Sting was not actually there. He was actually even advertised as some people, and he just didn't come back. So why do you think they just had him for one night and he was going to be gone?
Build up.
Teaser? Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice if he'd have turned up on Monday Night Raw, because I noticed there was a lot of people who've obviously been to the merchandise stand and were wearing Sting masks, them plasticky Sting masks. Quite a few people on the right-hand side had all got Sting masks, and they kept waving them. And then Daniel Bryan come in, and I'm thinking, yeah, nice to see Daniel Bryan back, but he's not come back as a wrestler, so really it's a bit of a laugh. It's a bit of a joke, because he's not going to come back wrestle. What's he going to do, just show his face so people know he's still alive and then disappear again next week? Because he just didn't do it for me. I watched Monday Night Raw purposely to see what they were going to do with Sting, and nothing. The only time you actually saw Sting's face anywhere was on the 2K15 game. That was it.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. This week's Raw was kind of like a lackluster for me. I wasn't really impressed with a lot of segments. I wish I could sit there and say, there was a match here that I really want to talk about, but there really is no match that really stuck out. The only things that really stuck out for me was Kane being downgraded to Concession Kane. I looked at that, and I didn't know whether to laugh or cry for the guy, because, when Kane first debuted, he was like supposed to be the devil's favorite advocate. He was one of the most, dominant figures in the WWF, now the WWE, and in one of the segments, a little teeny bopper girl was like bullying him around. What the fuck is wrong with this? Lance, your thoughts?
Well, I thought it was pretty funny, but then again, he's from Knoxville, and people from Memphis and Knoxville don't really get along that well, so I thought it was freaking hilarious.
Andy, what do you think that they're doing with Kane? Do you think they're finally going to get rid of him? Is this going to be his last year, or? I
think it's going to be his last run. I feel sorry for the guy, because like you say, he's come as this big so-called crushing machine, and they've ridiculed him for the last 3 years. They've completely screwed his gimmick.
Yeah.
I don't know whether he's upset somebody in the back room. I don't know what he's done, but they've just completely ruined his gimmick. But do you know what I think it is? Triple H
What's
is
that?
jealous because he's been making these horror movies.
Yeah.
And people are just not going to believe that he's this big monster anymore.
He's pretty believable in See No Evil too. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I must admit I've watched See No Evil 2 and I was impressed as much as I was with the first one. Normally, as the sequels go on, they get more and more shit. But I can see a part 3, but people are just not going to believe he's this big, hard character.
God,
When they see him selling popcorn and being bossed around by a 15-year-old girl who looked like she was a reject from McDonald's.
Yeah. Of course, at the very end of Raw, we still are kind of wondering who's going to be in control. We know, like I said, Daniel Bryan was in control for Raw for the night, and I think, again, that was more just a pop for the fans, just to have him back. I don't think he's going to have any real control. And then, what do we hear? We hear the chimes of the anonymous Raw General Manager guy. And now, some people seem to think it's just going to be for next Monday, and...
God, I hope so.
Well... Let's talk about that. Andy, what are your thoughts? Do you think it's just going to be for 1 week alone and they're going to be bringing other Raw general managers back?
Well, I can't say one thing. The people who write the script for the WWE obviously listen to our show, because I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago I said, when are they going to bring the Raw general manager back? Because we never really found out his identity. So thanks for listening to the show and supporting us.
Yeah.
Well, I still think the real anonymous Raw general manager is one person, Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
Because God only knows what happened. The authority's no longer in power. Vince was not happy about it. He clearly made sure he was saying, we got to fix this. We got to make sure it happens. We make sure it gets right. So you got to have this, Raw GM back, and then of course, I would not be surprised if we talked about it over on Billy's show. WGSTV, and I think that what's going to happen is it's going to cause so much chaos, and the only person who, of course, can bring back the authority is John Cena. So eventually, that the anonymous Raw GM is going to make all these rulings. It's going to piss him off, or eventually Cena's going to be like, all right, look, you know what, we made a mistake. Bring them back. Bring back the authority and have them come back. It won't happen right away. It won't happen in a week or a month, or a couple of weeks, or maybe in a month. Maybe after, I'd have to say, by the Rumble time, they'll be back.
Well, do you know when Triple H said in the show that now Raw will start to go down the toilet and what you can start doing on your Monday night? He was basically saying from now on the show's going to suck. And I'm sitting there watching it and thinking, yeah, whatever. Couple of minutes later, Santino comes on the stage with Larry the Cable Guy. Fucking come on.
Exactly.
How low can you get? What are they going to have next? The fucking cleaner? Larry the Cable Guy. No one even knows who he is in the UK. He's about as big as my stool.
And you know what? I
had Googled the cunt, see who he was.
Yeah, I wanted to actually talk about that.
Okay.
Because, Rick, we've talked about this on in the news that we do with Bay on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever the hell he can get around to it.
On the weekend.
Yeah.
It's a weekend show.
And the fact that they had big-ass Larry the Cable Guy in a Rey Mysterio mask, if that wasn't a big old F-U to Mysterio, I don't know what was.
Yeah, that was definitely a big rib.
Do you know the funniest thing was, though, on that particular mask, and I think it was Jerry the King Lawler that said it, and I'm inclined to agree. My God, Vader's back.
And you know what? It would have been funny if he had that big...
a Vader's mask on.
Yeah, if he had that big Vader mask, that would have been funny. I would have actually liked it. I probably would have even marked out a little bit.
He came on, and I gather he's got one of the funny shows in the US. And I'm sorry, the bloke dried up on stage. Santino had carries arse.
Yeah, he's not. The guy's not that funny. I mean, I know a lot of people like it, but for me, no, I wasn't. I've really never personally liked him myself. I know a lot of other people do. I am a minority, but I myself never liked Larry the Cable Guy.
I do like him, but he works a little on the blue side, and he can't really go blue on PG, so I think that might have been what hurt him.
Andy, what did you? By the way, let's talk about Fandango. What did you think of Fandango at all? Did you think he did any better or any worse, or did he just needs to hang it up?
He needs to go away. And who's that new bit of skirt he's got with him? Because she just looked like she got a face like a busted arsehole. Who is she?
There you go.
That's Rosa Mendez.
She'd got a face like a busted arsehole. I'm not joking. I mean, I'd rather make love to Vicky Guerrero with fucking rollers in than...
Excuse me, Andy.
She came out, I'm thinking, who is this Bint? She looked like a bulldog sucking a maggot.
I I wouldn't say that, man, but shit.
Jesus Christ! Wow, that's just bad.
She'd got a mesh netting type, whatever you call them, dancing attire, and I thought, yeah, best thing you could have been in is a net, a fucking fishing net.
Wow. Oh,
And ladies and gentlemen, this is coming from a guy who fancies Dixie Carter.
Speaking of which,
Speaking of which, it would have been good if Dixie Carter had been on the show. It would have been a damn sight more entertaining than Daniel Bryan being the general manager. That would have been a blow the roof off if they'd had Sting one night and Dixie Carter the next night.
It would have been, who the hell is this chick?
another match we really didn't get into was the Ambrose and Bray Wyatt match. I know they're trying to really set that whole up for TLC because obviously the night before on Survivor Series.
Did anybody notice if you've DVR'd that particular segment on Raw, play it back, because when you see Bray Wyatt throwing all those chairs on Dean Ambrose, on 2 occasions the camera crew got quite a good shot of the underneath of the chairs, property of Walmart. Pardon? Have they stolen them?
Well, times are tough in WWE.
They're all covered in stickers and it said property of Walmart. Or are them just Walmart reject chairs that Vince has gone and said, got any chairs you don't want? Although I can't believe that the commentators are actually sitting on Walmart chairs, because they look really posh and comfortable leather chairs, but Walmart, I thought, nah, no way, can't be right. But something, just changing the subject slightly, this is for the listeners out there who can probably make their comments be known on the Facebook page, but has anyone noticed that the camera crews have been watching too much TNA, and now the cameras, if you notice, when someone's doing a kick, keep doing like jerky motions, so you're like part of the motion with the kick, stolen from TNA blatantly?
Wow. Well, you know what? Real quick, let's beat on TNA for a minute. We've been kind of like, yeah.
Where's Bill at?
As we all know, that TNA is now going to Destination America, and I wanted to call and find out how much this Destination America would cost me. Now, for those of you who have the Dish or DirecTV, it's probably not going to cost you anything because DirecTV is a part of that package, Discovery package. If I want to buy the Discovery package extra, which is not part of my basic package, I have to pay an additional $17.99 minimum. So that's right, folks. Just to get 2 hours of TNA, nothing else, no extra pay-per-views, no 24/7 of wrestling, no streaming, no nothing, just 2 hours, and that's, of course, taped TNA. I have to pay $17.99.
Why pay $17.99 when you guys put me onto, and I'll give them a plug, Lucha Libre Underground? I managed to catch 2 episodes on Tinternet, and I must say I was rather impressed. The only thing I didn't like was the guy who thinks he's the new Vince McMahon with his key round his neck. What's all that about? But apart from that, I enjoyed the show, and there's a female sexy star, I think her name is, who should be in the WWE. No 2 ways about it. I've seen her have 2 matches now. That woman needs to be in the WWE.
Unreal. It's just the way it's been going. It's just...
I don't know if you... No, it was like last week's show, apparently, I was able to catch, but she fought a girl who used to be in MMA, and it's one of the best Divas matches I've seen for a very long time. I thought that Gail Kim match would have taken some beating, but that Gail Kim match looked like the AJ Lee and the Balor match on Survivor Series compared to that match I watched the other night. I was seriously impressed. Even my mother looked and said, "This is what wrestling should be."
Wow. Yeah.
To come in and say this is what wrestling should be. I thought, maybe you got a point there, Mother. Now go back to sleep.
And he needs to do some naughty things while watching these 2 women wrestle.
Yeah.
It was like, this TNA's gone a long way, hasn't it? No, it's not TNA, Mother. Go back to sleep.
It is TNA, but not the company.
Yeah.
It should be. The only thing I noticed that was a bit strange, are they using a cloned version of the ECW arena? Because that's certainly what it looked like. It shows you downtown New York and you get all these helicopters. Every so often they go to an outside shot of downtown New York and the helicopters fly between the buildings and it looks very scenic. And then it says Lucha Libre Underground. And then it shows you the outside of the venue and you think, shit pit.
Yeah, but you know what though? I have to say, Lucha Underground has been really phenomenal. I really like the product. I mean, that really, like grainy underground, seedy place. It has that feel to it. I like that. You look at WWE with all the lights and all the pretty, it's just a totally different feel for it, and I think that's what they're trying to get away from. And
it reminds me of when ECW was in its good days.
Yeah.
That's what it's reminding me of.
Exactly. Absolutely.
The only thing I thought they lacked was they need more. They need a 50-50 split. They need 50% of the wrestlers unmasked and 50% of the wrestlers masked, because I think when you see 5 or 6 matches, one after the other, all wearing masks, it gets a bit boring. Yeah, the matches are phenomenal, but think, another masked guy, another mask. And, when you see a masked guy, you automatically think of Rey Mysterio. And if you've not seen this Lucha Libre Underground, if you imagine Rey Mysterio in his heyday on steroids, that's what these guys are like. The masked wrestlers that do stupid, outrageous, over-the-top stuff, very entertaining, but it soon gets repetitive. I've only seen it twice, and I was sick of seeing people bouncing off the middle rope, through, doing a dive, knocking him into the audience, jumping back in the ring, running up and down like a complete idiot, diving through the centre rope again, knocking him on their arse again. I thought, how many times is he going to do this same move before he finishes the guy? It just got a bit repetitive, but very entertaining to watch. But on the long term, if that's their style and that's what they're going to do, I'm going to get pretty bored with it soon.
Yeah.
It's understandable, but I also think that it's like they're in their 4th or 5th episode, which means the company is just still growing.
Yeah.
I still I'm guessing it's probably going to be at least another year or two before we see that 50-50 roster that you're referring to. So,
I don't know how the health and safety people are in the United States. They're pretty shit hot in the UK, but I noticed one of the referees on one of the matches had got a plaster cast on.
Wow.
He's hardcore.
Yeah.
Hardcore referee with a broken arm.
He's Bob Orton.
He was probably one of the wrestlers the week before who broke his arm whilst doing a move.
Probably.
He's like, look, I got my mask on. Don't worry, they don't see me.
But one thing that did really surprise me, and I had to go and check it out on our friend's Wikipedia, I saw Conan with a walking stick, and then the next shot he was in a wheelchair, and I thought, is this just a gimmick? But apparently he's had cancer of the spine or something, and he's had a kidney operation and a hip replaced, and apparently his wrestling days are over, he can't walk, he uses a stick, or he's in a wheelchair all the time. So I'm sorry to see that, because I really used to like Conan. I know he's getting an old man now, but I really used to like, was it LAX, whatever he was part of? I really used to like that Conan guy, but he's no more, I'm afraid. He's almost I can't think of his name. He's almost a Droz. He isn't far off Droz these days.
Yeah.
So much for hip replacements.
Yeah, Conan ate well.
No, not at all.
And I was reading an article about that. If you go on our friend's Wikipedia, Dixie Carter, or TNA, supposed to have paid for the hip operation and never funded the bill. He had to fund the money himself. So maybe that's why the operation went tits up, because Dixie was getting paid for it.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, you can't get much of a hip replacement for $3.99, can you?
Yeah, I don't think you can get one of those at Walmart.
Yeah, because if you look on the Wikipedia thing, he's taking it. I think he's still suing him, actually, because they promised that they would pay for the hip injury replacement surgery, and bailed on him. Didn't pay it. Left him with a hefty bill and basically crippled the poor guy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's fucked up. Unreal. Well, guys, I think we're going to wrap up this edition in the moment. We'd like to thank you for listening, and of course, make sure you put your comments in the comment section below, and make sure you follow us at any of our places, whether it be our Facebook page at facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio, and also make sure you check us out at any of our video places. That's youtube.com/dailymotion.com. And also, catch a ride with us every weekend over at SoundCloud.com. Just look up for the words HWR Show. Andy, where can everyone find you at?
Yeah, you can find me at www.stokehaunted.com, and don't forget to go on to stokehaunted.com/YouTube and give me a like, because I'm trying to get as many likes on my YouTube videos as possible. So thank you very much in advance.
Get on over and subscribe. Lance, tell everyone where they can find you over at youtube.com.
I'm at youtube.com/LandbossTV. I got album reviews, NASCAR special videos, Redneck Norman cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, some rants, and starting the beginning of next year, we will be putting up the older editions of Controversies and Scandals on my channel. So get on over to like.
Alright, guys. Well, for everyone here, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you. Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations, whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.